Yesterday in Somerset County, more than a dozen students were injured when a school bus collided with a tractor trailer. And while that was tragic and horrific, and it was very sad for the driver of the truck and his family, obviously he perished in that crash, it got me thinking about something that's a pet peeve of mine, and that is the lack of seatbelts on school buses. Right now, nationwide, there's only 6 states that require seatbelts on school buses. And unfortunately, it often takes a tragedy for lawmakers to recognize the fact that this is something that should be done. For example, in 2006, there was a crash in Texas where 2 kids were killed. And then, people got together and they thought, of course, there should be seatbelts on school buses. There's seatbelts on every other vehicle, so they required seatbelts on school buses. Right now, Pennsylvania does not require seatbelts on school buses. That actually isn't the case. They do require it on small school buses, but any large school buses, there are no seatbelts. The reason being is that the National Highway Transportation Safety Administration has said that students are safe on school buses because of compartmentalization. They've done numerous tests, and in nearly every test, it's a head-on collision style crash, and what happens is that the student will bounce forward, and because of the high back seats, they'll hit here, and they're well padded, and they basically will bounce around in there, but they're fairly safe. But it doesn't take into account rollover crashes. It doesn't take into account side impact crashes, which is what we just saw the other day in Indiana, where a school bus driver who was a great school bus driver had a heart attack, and his bus veered to the side, and the side impacted a bridge abutment, and a 5-year-old student was killed. Those type of tragedies, whether a seatbelt could have saved that child or not, I can't say for sure, but I would have felt better if there would have been a seatbelt on board. Those type of tragedies can be avoided, in my opinion. You have 23 million students getting on school buses every day. 23 million. And the majority of those are not belted in. Whereas everyone else, I get in my car and I'm belted in because that's the law. It doesn't make any sense to me. Our government mandates things, they require things that drive me crazy. When I was growing up, we had lawn darts. I loved to play lawn darts. Somebody threw a lawn dart and stuck somebody in the head with it. Guess what? Lawn darts became illegal. When I was growing up, we had a 3-wheeler. Somebody rolled over a 3-wheeler and died. Guess what? 3-wheelers became illegal. Right now, all the light bulbs in my house are the new spiral jobs, not the old-fashioned ones. The old-fashioned ones didn't bother me any, but the government has said that the new ones are more energy conserving, and therefore we have to use them, even though they cost more and you have to throw them away by sealing them in a special envelope and then mailing them to the government because they say that we have to. So the government will stick its nose into our lives, which I don't care for typically because I'm a libertarian, and then in a case like this, they don't, and I don't understand it. Students need to be belted in. There's just no way around it. It whatever the cost, whatever it takes, get a commission together, I don't care. They need to be belted in. I was talking to one of my colleagues earlier today about this, and she was telling me that when she gets in the car with her kids, that if she doesn't put on her seatbelt, they'll say, "Mommy, you didn't put on your seatbelt." And that's great, that's wonderful, that's what you want kids to say. But then they get on the school bus, it's not this, it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter there. So how can it, you preach one thing to them, but then do another when it comes to everybody on the bus? To me, it's a no-brainer. It needs to be done. Whatever needs to happen, it needs to happen. Thankfully, no students were killed in this crash. Unfortunately, we did have the driver perish in the truck. But to avoid tragedy before it would strike, seatbelts need to be put on school buses. So that's my rant for today. Penguins play tonight. Sidney Crosby's coming back. Chris Letang looks like he's coming back. Enjoy that. March Madness starts today. Hopefully you guys got your brackets filled out. I'll give you a sleeper pick. Number 15, Detroit. You watch number 15, Detroit. They got a chance to knock out Kansas. That's your sleeper pick. And I'll talk to you soon.
At theherald-standard.com, our mission is to provide news, information, and services to enable our communities to prosper. Every day, we strive to achieve this goal through 3 dynamic products. Wake up each morning to a copy of the Herald-Standard.com newspaper delivered to your home. Enjoy the e-edition, an exact replica of our print product on your computer, tablet, or smartphone. Or secure unlimited access to our full-coverage digital news site online at Herald-Standard.com. One local news leader, 3 great options.